Hey, there was only one case, brother, brother. It was only one case. There aren't any court transcripts. There aren't any from the circuit court. There aren't any circuit court transcripts, brother. Cause you feel me, Trey man, get your people, man. You feel me? Get your people, cause look, there aren't any circuit court transcripts because this was declared an accident. So that means your study and your reference material has to derive from police statements, statements from the people at the party. There weren't any court proceedings. So anything y'all have that has court numbers on it, and there was only one. There was only one court proceeding, and it was civil. There were only civil court proceedings, and the civil court proceedings just recently happened. So now that we're talking about files being sealed, you have to understand that the video I showed you was 2 years ago. What are you talking about? There weren't any files to be sealed unless you know something that we don't know. Unless these people were juveniles and they caught a case, all the participants were juveniles. Um, let's just say you have this female, right? Young female that was known to constantly run away, whatever. She was straying away from the house. She might have took a liking to one boy, right? She might have took a liking to one, but in the process of her being, uh, you know, probably sexually active already, she decided to, hey, I'll go do this with him, and then got placed in a situation where she was beaten up and forced to do more than the one that she wanted to do. Now, just because she said okay to one doesn't mean that she gave permission for all of them to do it. Now, that was a case. That was a circuit court case in which all of the juveniles, in order to keep the identity withheld, they sealed the file. But guess what? They were charged as adults. They were charged as adults. So the minute that they turn 18, this will be public record. Or that they get close, it will be public record, so you will know what really happened. The victim in the case, she was also a juvenile. All of these people were juveniles. So once again, I say, hey, if you had a daughter and your daughter was raped, right? If you had a daughter and your daughter was raped, and they think that you're gonna come to court, first of all, you in gangland. So if you're not in gangland, and you've never lived in that type of environment, then you're this shit right here should bedazzle you. You know. And also, I'd like to add, by the files being sealed, you really aren't aware of any of the participants. So you do not have any facts. There's not you can't. All we have to stand on is the things that they had from the civil litigation. Teresa Martin and whoever else took payment that got paid, because more than Teresa Martin got paid. So let them say it. They agreed to have the case file sealed, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. And also, I feel like this. I feel like I unfairly judged people. I unfairly judged King Rob, because I won't say that everything that he's saying is accurate, but because of his delivery, we all really negated everything that he said because of his delivery, because of his cadence. We didn't give him any credence. Because of his cadence, he came off as being intimidated. He came off as being a bully. Now, when you listen to the things that he says, he'll take you and walk you through certain parts. He doesn't do it directly, he does it indirectly. So I would say that I found a lot of truth through King Rob. I found a lot of truth through King Rob. And I my viewpoint on this entire thing is there should have been a two-way respect. You have negative opinions because people are working off theories that you provided. But can I get mad at you for providing those theories? Because hey, it's easy for me to say, "Oh, I would have did this and I would have did this," because my daughter didn't get raped. I'm not getting my house threatened. I'm not getting my family threatened. I'm not expected for to be quiet and let my daughter get raped. This this should be this should be disciplinary action. I don't know who's over what, man, but anytime things get this bad where it's okay for somebody to go take something, especially from a minor, that shouldn't be tolerated. Principles. So the people that I see coming together to help hide this, I can't I can't say that it's being done with malice. It's being done with ill intention, because once again, everybody's making judgment on a premise of inaccurate information. Now, as far as just 33 King mentioning that these files were sealed and all these files were sealed, this once again should let you know. This should let you know. This should make your mind wonder. When you look at the footage, it should when you look at the footage, it should make your mind wonder. You should think about that. Think about what it takes to have a murder scene without the certain principles of the murder scene being respected. Uh, Just just think about what it takes for the just think of how the people were reacting. Think of how Teresa's reacting. Think about all the inconsistencies within this situation. We all see time skips. That's a fact. Time skips say that the footage has been edited. Now, I'm not speaking to the automatons. I'm not speaking to minions. I'm not speaking to dunderheads. I'm not speaking to anybody who anybody who's not to formulate an opinion based on their own beliefs and what they've seen. When in time have you seen the police go to a murder scene and ask for footage? Right? They don't. What happens is let me explain this to you. What happens when there's a murder that has occurred? There's something that the police are given. It's called probable cause for search and seizure. They don't ask for footage. They don't wait for footage. They don't ask for footage. They don't wait for footage. Now, giving the police edited footage or allowing the authorities to obtain edited footage is a crime. It's a murder that has taken place. It's called aiding and abetting, first degree murder. When you go on there and you remove the timestamps, you're aiding, you're assisting in a first degree murder charge. This is not fun. This is not a game. I need you to think. This is not a per what they're saying in this reenactment and what they want you to believe is that there weren't any arrests made and there's edited footage. You believe that, you run with it and stand around because I might need to tell you a few damn lies. The police, when it's a murder scene that is taking place, you have probable cause. You have over what you call reasonable suspicion because somebody's dead. So you have probable cause to search. You have probable cause to seize any evidence that may be used in this murder, in this commission of this murder. I know you know that, right? Right. So with regard to the initial accident, because there aren't any records, there aren't any records that you're going to be able to obtain from an accident because they determined they found it to be an accident. There aren't any records. So all you have to go by and all you have to read is what the detectives asked and what the detectives found. Now, let's just say this was a murder scene. Let's say things happen the way they say they happen. Do you think that this situation would be so lax? Let's put the views aside for a minute. Let's put the monetization to the side for a minute, and let's put yourself in in the position of a mother or a father who has a daughter that has been raped and it has been done and publicized. I don't expect a pedophile to understand. So you can, if you're a pedophile, you can feel free to exit this conversation. But if you have a daughter, if you have a son, if you're watching your niece, if you're watching your nephew or cousin underage, and you on a particular type of time because of where you're located, your geographical location, where they do whatever gang is in that area, they're predominant. You have to do what's customary. So they say. But what happens when a rape happens? What happens when they're expecting you to be quiet? What happens when you're hood, so you do hood stuff, but then something happens to your people? And then the worst thing of it all is the situation or the reenactment is done so they're getting vilified because what they've placed in front of us. But this was declared an accident. So there weren't any files to seal from the beginning. The only case that has arrived, quote unquote, from this situation was a civil case. And those files were sealed as to protect the identity of the people and the juveniles within the situation. Not of the civil situation, but the initial situation. Now, you have narratives. You have narratives about Teresa. You have narratives about any of those people. Any of those people. I've done my homework, and what you still have to place on the table is what what are we most concerned about? I'm not concerned if Teresa sells dope. I'm not concerned if Lenore selling pussy. I'm not concerned about that. Your concern should be for the adolescent. Your concern should be for a child, especially if you have them. Your concern as an adult. See, this is where I'm start. This is where I'm talking to the adults. So I know that everybody doesn't think like an adult, so they're not going to be. They're really not going to feel what I'm saying because they don't think like adults. You know, I'm talking. I'm speaking in reference to the people who have children, who have kids, even though you do bad things to teach your to feed your kids, even though you've done bad things to even though you taught your kids bad stuff, even though you grew up in a bad area where doing stuff is normal, when you start when people start to rape people and devaluing women, devaluing children, that's not a state of normalcy. What I'm telling you now is beyond views. This is beyond views. This is beyond monetization. I don't give a fuck if you like it or not. You feel me? I'm not doing this. I'm not asking you to like it. I'm not asking you to share it. I'm asking you to listen. Like, for once, get on. For once, put yourself in the position of a parent who has to be quiet, who has to be quiet, who's getting trolled, all in the name of protecting somebody else. We don't know. We'll never know if it's her daughter. You'll never know that because I told you they've taken away what you need to get a petition started. There's no need in talking about a petition. You can't get you can't address the court with a fictitious situation. In order to address the court, you have to have jurisdiction. You can't get jurisdiction providing the court with a fictional situation. That's what I'm saying. I'm not being argumentative. At this point, I don't want to know who's listening to me. I'm not trying to be more popular than anybody else. I'm not on here ranting and raving like a kid. You can clearly see the kids when you log into this stuff. It's a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? You can tell the adults. You know what I'm saying? Learning what I learned, I look through a lot of people's channel. You know, everybody has a different perspective, and with respect to everybody who has a different perspective, I know that I've taken into consideration factual stuff. The reenactment at its purest form is an account of the events that happened in the real situation. I wouldn't expect you to believe that. I wouldn't expect you to because you have some really intelligent people. The people that I told y'all were 33, those are intelligent people. Those aren't stupid people. That I like how discreet they are. I like how they talk through their signals. So, you know what I'm saying? They're really discreet. They on a different level. But I peep them out. I peep out all the threes that they have in their account name. I peep out all the tags. I'm knowing. But everybody that you see in this situation, they're not bad people. I feel. These are my real feelings. I feel like this person that that they're that that they're that they're saying got killed, the character of the person that got killed was here to participate in a to give you a vivid picture of the activity that happened. They're telling a story with the reenactment. It may be out of place. It may be out of place, but they're telling a story. Now, let's go to footage. Andrew Holmes. Andrew Holmes was there for the aiding and assisting of the family. However, the only footage from that event should not have been viewed. It should have, after they removed it from Facebook, it should have been in the hands of the authority. So Andrew Holmes shouldn't have seen that footage. It wasn't up to him to see that footage. If it was my child, He's not an authority to look at what was on that footage. It's not his. It's not his call to look at the rape of someone's daughter. Nobody told you to do that. I don't want you to see my daughter naked. What's wrong? That's what's on the footage. Nobody cares about that freaking hotel footage. Those are a lot of people placed for a good reason. They just did it messed up. The way they went about doing it, the storyline, it has all of us thinking this way, that way, this way, that way. I'll be ready to kick a motherfucker ass because my daughter is already embarrassed because it was on Facebook. The shit they was doing to her. Them dudes got time. Them dudes on a sex offenders list. So how they could still be a part of an organization after this, I don't give a fuck if it's your enemy or not. A child is a child. A child is a child. That's DP time. That's DP time. I don't know how they do it up there, man. I don't know how they do it. In the penitentiary system, they would have sent the kite in with them dudes, man. They would have beat them dudes, man. You don't, man. They got charged as adults. So they're finna go in and do adult time. They would have put that, and them dudes would be waiting in there with them ice picks soon as they get. I don't give a crap if they, I don't give a fuck if they represent what they represent. Y'all wrong. Y'all wrong, man. You know, this is my series of events. Like once again, I don't get on here to be in competition with anybody. That's not my thing. It's not my thing to get on here. I don't require that you do push the like button. You know, that's not me. This particular subject at hand should make all adults look past any of that stuff. If this subject right here, the subject matter we're talking about, this actually happened, and if you think that this actually happened, why are you asking? Why are you coming on here competing? Why are you in a way like that? Why are you on here trying to be this person against this person? Fool. We talking about a child. You don't understand. You have to. I question your value system. That's why I never respond. I don't care. You talk about me all day, but guess what? I can show you a few news clippings. I'm big dog. Where I'm at. Them cats, we would have had a whole meeting about them cats. We would have had a whole meeting about them cats. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We would have had a whole meeting about them cats. We would have met about them cats. Them cats would have got DP'd because you ain't finna rep what I rep and be a rapist. Cuz ain't no checking your homeboy. We all gonna check your homeboy. It's gonna go down. You feel me? You can't be tough and be a rapist. Rapist is some pussy shit. I spoke my piece on that shit, man. You can leave your comments you want to. You don't, you can I just want to hear from y'all, man. I want to hear from adults. I don't want anybody to talk to me that's coming on here about them actually thinking it was a rape and on here trying to compete, on here trying to draw attention away from the fact that some a child was raped. Fucking idiot.